It's Thursday. Let's take a look at what's on the agenda. We meet with the assistant coaches later today. What's your burning questions for one or two of the assistant coaches?
Well, I'm really interested in speaking to Cody Burns, or at least hearing what he has to say about his receivers. So far, when you talk to the receivers or other players, everybody's just saying that generic. Everybody's standing out. No one's really standing out. No one's really pinpointing one or two guys. But Cody Burns has to have an idea of who's going to lead his group this season. I think it's Nate Craig Myers and Kyle Davis, with the possibility of Darius Slayton stepping up there as well. I want to hear what Cody Burns has to say. He's all been talking about development over the last year. You've had a year to develop these guys. Most of them were young. Now they're sophomores. What are you expecting out of them this season, and are you seeing that in preseason camp?
And Cody, I'm not knocking him specifically, but he's a young coach, has not been overly impressive at these. We meet with the assistants once in spring, once in fall, and he's been very, very kind of relies on platitudes and doesn't give much. I think he needs to kind of get a little more specific here now. He's not the new guy on the block. This is his second year. I'd like to see him kind of, like you said, give some specific. Mine, I think I got two. One for Tim Horton. Is this the least he's ever practiced a running back in the offseason?
That's very interesting because Cameron Petway had been tackled.
He's basically not playing. He's basically on the sidelines, and his career goes back a while. So I'm curious to see how it compares. And for Rodney Gardner, who always give you kind of a straight answer, is there any hope for Byron Collar?
That's a big question because he entered preseason camp as maybe the fourth or fifth defensive lineman or defensive tackle, excuse me. He has practiced some with the second team, but this isn't a guy who looks like a starter at all.
And Rodney's gone back and forth. He's one spring he's down on him. The next fall there's hope. In this spring it was hope, and then the summer not so much. So it's sort of like shifting. Where does he fall now with the season right here? And like I said, he can be honest, almost to a fault sometimes.
Yes, and we'll ask Tyrone Truesdale earlier in practice and preseason camp. Rodney Garner got in his face quite a bit for loafing.
And keeping on that, the bonus round today, most important assistant coach that's not a coordinator on Auburn staff this season.
I'm going to say Herb Hand. I want to say Cody Burns, but I think that'll work itself out. And I say Herb Hand because they have some talented offensive linemen. We know that. They're still working out, trying to figure out the right unit to put together out there. I think they have a good idea of what it's going to be. But with the offensive line, it takes a few games to gel. And that second week, as we all know, is going to be very important going to Clemson. That offensive line needs to gel. The good news for Auburn is that it's very possible they could have 5 seniors starting on that offensive line.
Give him an advantage.
that would help him out a little bit. But remember last season, Herb Hand's offensive line struggled the first couple of games, few games of the season. In fact, they were near the bottom of the entire country in tackles for loss allowed. Then they turned things around. Something happened. This group cannot come out slow this season. They just can't because they're going to throw the ball. They need to pass protect. And pass protection under Gus Malzahn, if anything, that's been a weakness.
I'm going to go with the new kid on the block, Greg Brown. We talked to Carlton Davis this week, and he said just how about he's kind of a low-energy guy, much different from Wes McGriff. But my question is, he's got some depth issues at safety.
Yeah.
He's got a very different style, and this is a group that kind of thrived on kind of that style that Wes McGriff had, running around in practice, shouting, kind of a crazy, intense guy. Just interested to see how Greg Brown kind of mixes in. Does he make the group better? And then what does he do? He's got a position to juggle here, I think more so than anywhere on the field. How will that kind of sort itself out? So Greg's got some question marks going into the season.
Yeah, I did not fully expect him to be in this position safety-wise in the 5th year of the Gus Malzahn era. Everywhere else they've got depth, but safety is a big, big concern right now.
Absolutely. That's it for the AUgenda today. Tomorrow, we take a closer look at the second scrimmage. Join us.